Alright, for breakfast today I just did what I did last week, which was the breakfast casserole using the last of the hash browns, a dozen eggs from Aldi, half a bag of bacon bits from Aldi since I don't have any more sausage, salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And that's what's going to be for breakfast today. Okay, so for dinner tonight, we were supposed to do white chicken chili, but none of us are in the mood for white chicken chili. So I pulled out all the leftovers. We have a bag of bell peppers that are cut up and ready to use for like vegetables. In here is that fried, John, leave it alone, is whatever's left of that one fried rice. And one burger here that I'll probably just bookmark for my husband. We have some salad, we have some beets, and this is, I did not film last night, or yeah, at all yesterday actually, but this is roasted potatoes, mainly potatoes. We might have a little roast somewhere. So we're just gonna make all of this work for dinner tonight. Oh, I also have 2 containers of mashed potatoes, and I was like, I'll just make some potato cakes with it. And as I open the door, I see something else. Somebody can have taco salad. Any more leftovers? Sweet potatoes I'm going to turn into cakes of some kind, muffins, pancakes, something. Pumpkin sweet potato muffins, but other than that, pretty much what we have. Okay, it is a snowy Tuesday today, and for breakfast we did pumpkin muffins. I made a huge batch of it, and we finished the last of that up today. It's mainly been used for snacks or breakfast or whatever. Anyway, and now for lunch, I'm doing another carb meal, which is this potato soup. I am out of eggs, and while I do have eggs that I picked up at Kroger, I'm trying to get those, not touch those until the 1st, which is 2 days from now, because that was the intention, was to use it for the next week and kind of use up what we have here. So this is going to get interesting. We'll see how that works. Potato soup using potatoes from the mobile food pantry. This just has potatoes and onion in it, chicken broth, and seasonings. The exception to my trying not to use up anything that we have set aside for the new month is going to be this Gouda cheese. I shredded both things that I got. We're in the process of shredding, and they've been put into quart bags that are going into the freezer. And then we also have this to use up. We can add to that. I have this on the shelf, and we have some bacon bits. So that's what's going to be for lunch today. It is the end of the day. Day got away from me. I forgot to share dinner. Breakfast was muffins, lunch was potato soup, and there was enough potato soup left that those who wanted it for dinner had that for dinner. Honestly, not everybody was hungry. We had a Costco run yesterday, and so we had things like vegetable straws and some mango things, and some of the kids had that as a snack this afternoon, and just between that and the potato soup, they just weren't hungry. So we finished up the potato soup for dinner. On the stove, I have in these 2 things all of this chicken drumsticks that I got from the pop-up pantries that they call them up here. And in here I have going some chicken soup, chicken stock. In here is carrots and celery and parsnips and parsley and fennel and garlic and onion and loads of water, dill weed, what else do I have? Salt, whole bunch of stuff. This is not only going to make food for us, I'm going to take all that chicken off and take the chicken off the bones and be able to use that in other recipes. The stock, I'm going to be able to can and use it later on for other things, possibly even have chicken soup too. So anyway, that's the big project for tonight, and I'm going to go bed because I'm really tired. Well, hello. I know I have not filmed for at least 2 days of what we've been eating, and to be honest, I don't remember past yesterday. So I don't know what we did. Actually, yes, I did. Okay. So we haven't filmed for 2 days. 2 days ago was the day that I went to the food pantry, and that video is being posted as I film this. And we did a lot of just the foods that were there that day. And for dinner, we had chicken sandwiches or chicken, mac and cheese with chicken in it from the food pantry. So my husband and my daughter, they had gluten-free just chicken sandwiches. The rest of us, actually, I didn't really eat. I did not feel very good that day. Another reason why I didn't film. Second reason was I had forgotten to charge the battery. But they had gluten-free sandwiches. The rest of them had the mac and cheese with the chicken. I made 2 huge pans of chicken stock, and so I shredded 18 pounds of chicken bones. I went to film it, and that's when the battery died, so that did not get filmed. Anyway, that was what we had 2 days ago, and then yesterday we actually went out of town to go pick up our rabbits. They were being held by a friend, and so we went down, and I was pretty much gone all day. Trying to avoid traveling through Detroit added a lot more time to the car ride, and so the day was pretty much gone by the time I got home. I don't know what the family ate here. We did stop one place at a gas station, filled up gas, and then we picked up 2 calzones that me and the children shared. And then we came home, did chips and salsa, did toast, just simple meals. So that was yesterday. Today for breakfast, honestly, I didn't wake up feeling the best either. I'm pretty sure I'm dehydrated, so I'm trying to get rehydrated. So everybody did toast because that was simple and easy. And now we're gonna start with lunch. So now we're back in the cycle. Now we're back in the saddle is what I'm trying to say. Now we're back in the saddle, and I'll share with you the meals that we've done. So today is February 2nd. I would have liked to have done my monthly grocery shopping at this point, but I didn't. Yesterday for breakfast, before we left on the trip, was a dozen eggs from that food pantry and a box of biscuits. That made like Pillsbury biscuits. So one box barely gave us 2 biscuits each. So there's that. And then it was the rest of the day. Just remember that. So today I would have to dig into February's month of eggs if I'm going to do eggs or anything for lunch. I'm trying to think of what I can do off the top of my head, just to kind of make things easy. For right now, I think I'm going to make the other boxes of mac and cheese for the kids, and then my husband and my daughter can do a chicken sandwich again. I'm 100% sure that's what I'm going to do. And then I will see you at dinner and get you all caught up on the next meal for the day. Okay, I am making enchiladas for dinner. This is the 18 pounds, right? 6 times 3 is 18. Yeah, 18 pounds of chicken drumsticks. I made stock with it, and I canned up several quarts of stock, and then I deboned all the chicken, and so this is about 5 pounds of cooked chicken. I weighed it, and kind of take out the weight of my 9x13 pan, weighed the chicken, there's about 5 pounds of cooked chicken here. So tonight we're going to use some of that in a enchilada. I do not have any corn tortillas, so my son and husband put together a batch of corn tortillas for me. This is not everything. We definitely have been snacking on it throughout the afternoon. In the bottom of my 9x13 pan, I have some home canned enchilada sauce that I put on the bottom, and then I layered it with a layer of the corn tortillas. These don't really fold well, so they wouldn't hold real well for enchiladas. So we're going to do it this way. Over here in my cast iron, I do not have any more onions. I have none in the freezer and I have none in the fridge. So we're just going to do some green pepper and some garlic. And I have some dried pepper that as I add the sauce to it, it's going to cook up. So I'm going to add a couple handfuls of chicken here, some of that dried onion, some cumin, a little chili powder. I'm going to get that cooking and simmering for just a little bit, and then I'll add the rest of the enchilada sauce to this. Alright, so here it is. We're just taking the chicken enchilada bit. I put a layer of the enchilada sauce on the bottom, did a layer of corn tortillas, a layer of this. I'm going to use the Gouda cheese because that's what my daughter can use, and it doesn't seem to affect her eczema, and that we've noticed yet. I have to really stress that. Don't go and do it if you have severe eczema. That's because I said it. I'm going to do a layer of that. That is purchased at Costco, that was not used with any of the food pantry items. So that's something to note. And once I get that layer of cheese down, I'll do another layer of tortillas, another layer of meat mixture, another layer of cheese. And I'm all out of enchilada sauce. So I might take a can of like diced tomatoes and do it on top for a little bit extra sauce. But something that would also work for this. Alright, all of the meat is on, and then I remembered, oh yeah, I was going to use up some of this canned spinach. So I was able to get a little bit on here. Now I need another thing of enchilada sauce, and I don't have any. So what I did was I took this can that we also got from the food pantry, poured it into my 4-cup thing, added garlic powder, onion powder, a pinch of cayenne, some cumin, and a little bit of chili powder, and salt, because as you can see it says no salt. And then I just took my immersion blender, the other part is in the wash, and I made a sauce out of it. And so I'm going to kind of drizzle this over the top best I can. I'm not looking at what the camera is saying, so hopefully you can see something, but we're just going to do a little bit over the top. That should be good. Oh, seriously, there's not much left. We're just doing the rest. Okay, take a little water, rinse that out, or a bowl scraper. I'm going to top with cheese, pop it in my oven at 350 for about 20 minutes, and I'll serve this with some green beans. I got the green beans at Aldi, and I think I spent a dollar plus on each bag, and we need 2 bags. The masa harina we bought at Walmart when we first moved here. We've made 3 or 4 batches of corn tortillas, and I think it was like $5 for the bag, so maybe $1 per batch. So we're going to say another $1 here. So we're over $3 now. We have the cheese. This is a little bit more expensive. I have no idea how to calculate the cost. I know I got 2 quart bags out of each wedge that I grated up. And each wedge was about 15, I think. 15 seems to be the average that I pay for it. And so I really have no way to figure that out, but I can guarantee you that we've been under the $20 today. So that's fantastic. And then the chicken is from the food pantry, and everything else that I've tried to pull together has been from the food pantry. So that's going to be it for today. The last couple of days we've used food pantry things with a little bit of our items, but again, I haven't kept track of things as well as I should, but I definitely know we've been under the $20 a day budget that we've been trying to stick to. So that's fantastic. We'll see you tomorrow, and I will do a little bit better about the track and cost and whatnot. Alright, for brunch this Saturday, we are making pumpkin pancakes. I had about a cup and a half left of mashed sweet potatoes. These are canned sweet potatoes that I brought with me from Indiana, and they're from all of those sweet potatoes that we had back in Indiana. If you've been around my channel, you know that we were getting pounds and pounds every week. And so my daughter took upon herself to learn how to can sweet potatoes. So I'm down to my last 2 quarts of them. And last week we made some pumpkin muffins with them. And I made a couple loaves of pumpkin bread that my husband took to church potluck. And there was about a cup and a half left of that sweet potato mixture. So I took my pumpkin pancake recipe. The recipe is going to be linked down below. Actually, it'll be written down below, but I will actually have a printable that's on my Facebook community page that I have a suggested donation of $5 a month to be a part of. And I try to put all printables in there, and I try to keep good information going that can help you stretch your budget further, find encouragement, find motivation to keep going in your little journey of life. So the Sodbuster community is going to be left linked down below, and the recipe will be there as well as on the Facebook page as a printable. So that's what I'm doing here. This is a triple batch. So because I had a cup and a half, and I think it's only half a cup that you need, I don't remember off the top of my head, and the recipe is way across the room over there, and it's a hike. Not really, but it is right now. So I just did a triple batch. It worked out for everything. The other reason why I did a triple batch is then it used up the last half cup of cornmeal that I had left in the bag. And if I have leftover pancakes that I put in the freezer for another day, then I have leftover pancakes that I put in the freezer for another day. It saves me time in the long run. I'm already doing it here. I'm kind of cleaning up and tidying up the house as these are cooking. So, and once in a while I pull a kid in and say, hey, go take care of the pancakes for a bit. So that helped use up cornmeal. That helped use up some of the sweet potato. It's typically a pancake that I make mainly on Christmas. But I have been known to make it throughout the year depending on what items I have. So again, I'm kind of trying to use up things that I have, like those sweet potatoes. Those were canned sweet potatoes from Food Pantry back in Indiana. So I don't really have a cost on that. There is about 6 eggs in here, and I used the Kroger eggs that I bought for $1.49 for an 18 count. I have no idea what you're saying because I'm literally focusing on the griddle and not the camera. So I would say that's 50 cents every half dozen. So there's 50 cents of eggs in here. Again, the cornmeal, it said $1 on the bag, so it's something I bought from the Amish salvage store, and so that means it's going to be pennies to make. There was a little bit of spelt flour left, so I threw that in. I had some sorghum flour that I was trying to use up, so I threw that in. And then the other 2 cups of flour that you needed, I used some King Arthur 1-to-1 gluten-free flour that was given to us as a Christmas present. So That, actually, no, I used all that up. I did purchase this. That was about $8, I think, for the bag. And it's got 2 cups used out of it. Maybe $1, maybe, from that. So another $1. What are we at? $3, $4 tops. Everything else is just spices and whatnot. So very inexpensive breakfast. I will actually probably scramble up some eggs to serve with this because, again, we're doing this as a brunch. I like to serve this with bacon or sausage, but I do not have any, so we're just going to do scrambled eggs and pancakes. And there we go. That's what we're going to do today for brunch. And approximate cost, again, with the eggs and everything, is going to be maybe $6. Alright, for dinner tonight, I am making copycat Olive Garden chicken and gnocchi soup. In my pan here, I have between 3 and 4 celery chopped, 1 carrot grated, 1 onion, and about 4 cloves of garlic. I'm going to add more of this chicken from all those chicken drumsticks that I cooked into there, along with the broth that I made from all of this. And yeah, it's a basic Olive Garden copycat recipe. Pretty simple. I do have some gluten-free gnocchi that I got from Amazon last month that we'll be adding to here. So I will calculate the cost and get it up here for you, but that's what we're going to do for dinner tonight. Well, it's another day completed, and I completely forgot to film what we ate today. But for breakfast, we had some blueberry breakfast bread instead of muffins. My daughter just made a couple loaves of bread, and we had that for breakfast before church. For lunch, we were going to do a picnic at the park. It was a beautiful sunny day over where we live. By the time we got to the park, it was foggy and cold. Not sure why it switched so quickly like that. It was a very interesting phenomenon, but we did chicken salad sandwiches for that, using some of the bread from the food pantry, some of the chicken from the pantry, and all of that. And then for dinner, my son, teaching him how to make food, he did beef broccoli for the family. So we had some rice. Some of the rice, I think, is food pantry rice. We did some rice. The beef cut that is suggested for beef broccoli was really expensive, so I ended up taking a roast that I had found on clearance, slicing it thin, and then I soaked it in some soy sauce overnight in the fridge, and then we used that for the beef broccoli, and it was a very good and tender cut for the beef broccoli. And so I have a little bit of what is left. In here is that mushrooms, those dollar mushrooms that I picked up, onions that I purchased. I purchased the broccoli and I purchased the beef. For what I paid in this, it's going to be about $13-ish in supplies here. And this is what is left over, so there is still a lunch left over here. That is what we did for today for our meals, and I'll see you next time. Happy morning, Monday morning, afternoon, whatever it is. Happy Monday to you. For lunch today, I made tuna cakes. This is 5 cans of tuna, a leftover container of mashed potatoes, carrot, all the things that else I typically put in a tuna cake, plus the carrot and mashed potatoes. I made a batch of what we call sweet tea. I have a pint jar, so here's a quart, a pint jar of peach jam that did not set. I think it's the last one. And so that's what I use to make our sweet tea. So there's 8 bags, a mixture of green and black tea bags. We're trying to use up the black tea, so having the mixture is one way that we can eat it and get it used up. So I just brewed the bags of tea in this half-gallon mason jar, and then I kind of split between this half-gallon mason jar and this quart mason jar, and then I added the peach jam to it. I added about half a cup of lime juice, and and some ice cubes, and stirred that around. Obviously this is all gone. Some of this is gone. And sounds like everybody liked it pretty good. We have avocados to go with lunch, and I have some fried mushrooms here as well. And cost. So at least $4 for the tuna. One of the cans was from the food pantry, so that brought the 5 cans up. Leftover mashed potatoes that don't add up. There's 2 eggs in here. Maybe 50 cents there. Avocado, we got the bag from Costco. I want to say it was $5.99, and there's 6 in there, so those are $1 a piece. So we're at $6.50, and the mushrooms here were $2. So we have about $8.50 here for our lunch, and I'll see you at dinner time. Alright, so for dinner, 0 cost, because I went grocery shopping, and then we had doctor's appointments, and then we had insurance appointments, and I came home and did not make dinner. So we pulled out leftovers, which is completely fine. There's plenty. 0 cost dinner. This is leftover lasagna and leftover chicken gnocchi soup, and that's what's for dinner. Okay, so for breakfast I pulled out the rest of the pumpkin pancakes and some chicken sausage, and that's what's going to be for breakfast today. Alright, for lunch we're doing leftovers. You have a choice of beef, broccoli, lasagna, tuna cakes, and some vegetables. And that's what's for lunch. Alright, for breakfast I cut up a cantaloupe, I have some of the sausages, and we scrambled 12 eggs for breakfast. Okay, for tonight's dinner, I am going to be making some tomato soup, and this is one that I got from Pepper and Pine. I don't know if she's back on YouTube, but when I did a lot more homeschooling channels, she was really instrumental in my homeschool life, making it beautiful and whatnot. And this one uses like 5 ingredients. It's a tomato, and then you have like a tomato bisque soup base, and then you add some chicken broth to it, and then you add some fire roasted tomatoes, and you heat all that up, and then you like pour cream over it and some cheese, and it's absolutely delicious. Well, with all of the tomatoes that I had last year, I ended up canning as much as I could, especially all those cherry tomatoes, if y'all remember. I ended up canning some basically tomato soup base, and the idea was to kind of turn it into this tomato soup later on, where I would take a base and then add some chicken broth and kind of recreate it. I did not add any cream, not even some of the coconut milk. I thought it was fine by itself, but we added some shredded cheese on top, and then I served it with some grilled cheese sandwiches, and it turned out to be really, really delicious. And again, I made a huge pot, so we were able to do more for leftovers later. Here I'm trying to help cut costs, and I decided to make these muffins for breakfast. They are banana and oatmeal, and I overfilled some of them a little bit much, so note to self, go ahead and just try to make a few extra ones rather than trying to make some big ones. but this way it will kind of help keep some of the costs down today. And even though we've been able to maintain our budget really, really well, um, then we just have a little bit more wiggle room for other meals later on. And then for lunch, I have been saving these 2 containers of rice, and I thought I was going to need some more, but I was like, you know what? I need to use this up today or it's going to go bad. This, I think, is still from the beef broccoli. So, anyway, this is how I make my fried rice. I put some olive oil in the pan and I cook some onion and garlic just for a little bit. Then I add a little bit of rice vinegar, a little bit of sesame oil, and then a little bit of liquid aminos, or it's a soy sauce basically without the wheat. And then I can start cooking it up. I think this also had one of the zucchinis that I got from Aldi as well, kind of pre-cooked a little bit. And then I just start basically mashing it, kind of like you say there. Fried rice is best made with leftover rice. It really is. It just has more of that almost crispiness that fried rice gets. It's really good. That was definitely not enough soy sauce. Alright, here's what we're going to have for lunch today. I made fried rice, which is a family favorite, using leftover rice. Now when I have a dish that uses rice, I tend to try to make extra so we can make this dish. I honestly didn't think I was going to have enough here, so I've been putting it off until I have another rice dish, but this rice needed to be used up. And as you can see, it's plenty. I mean, look at the size of my pan. I have one linked in my description box because it's just a really, really good size for a large family. And I think the best price to get it is Walmart. But if you need a quick and easy option, it's linked down below. We used up the last of all that food pantry chicken. And there's a bag of mixed vegetables in here. I cook it with some onions and zucchini as well. Lots of liquid aminos, or not lots, but liquid aminos and pepper and sesame oil and rice vinegar. And this is just a family favorite, and it should definitely feed us for lunch and maybe even a little bit more later on. Alright, so for dinner tonight, I made 1 pan stroganoff. And let's see if we can calculate the cost on this. There is $2.79 of ground turkey in here, 1 onion, 1 can of home canned mushrooms. These are mushrooms that I canned last year. There's the chicken broth made from all the chicken that I got from the food pantry. So there's a quart of that in here. There's some homegrown, garlic in here. And some wine, some Worcestershire sauce, some mustard, and then these spiral noodles that I got from Aldi at about $2 a bag because they were on clearance or a reduced deal or something like that. And so I didn't use a whole bag. I only used about half the bag. So I'm going to calculate that and put it across the bottom of the screen because I can't remember off the top of my head. And then with that, we're going to do 2 bags of these broccoli florets that I got from Aldi. And these are about $1.27 a bag, I believe. Also, I'm preparing this ground chorizo, and I am mixing it with a ground of turkey. And so there's 2 pounds of meat here, and that makes it not be as spicy. So that's a tip I just wanted to put in here. If you've got some of this really hot chorizo, just kind of mixing it, and then you can kind of stretch it a little bit further, but also help the kids that don't like the spicy meals. So anyway, that's what we're going to do for dinner, and I'll see you in the next clip. So Friday night we tend to stay up late. I have a movie that I watch with my friend at the same time. She's in California, I'm here, so I don't get to bed before midnight. I have a couple older kids that kind of do something similar with their friends, so anyway, we get to bed late is what I'm trying to say. So I would make a brunch, but I've got a couple of younger kids up and hungry, so I just made a pot of oatmeal, and then we can do leftovers for lunch because we have plenty of those. Okay, so for dinner I'm doing burgers. I'm using one of those packages from Costco. So it was 1 1/3 pound and it made 7 burgers. So I have 2 small ones for the little ones and the rest of them were about this size. We don't know how to, anyway, we're using up potatoes from the food pantry. This was, if we took $20 and divided by 3, it's a little less than $7. So $7 for that. Free. The only thing, let's see, potatoes, and then I cooked it in water and chicken bouillon, and then I took the immersion blender and creamied it as much as I could. Added salt and pepper and about half a stick of butter, onions, and salad. And that's what's for dinner. And that's a wrap for this week. I definitely believe that we have stayed within our $20 a day budget. However, as I uploaded the grocery haul, the month-long grocery haul for this month, I talked to my husband. I was like, you know, something just dawned on me. We have calculated about $600 a month for our groceries, but about $100 of that at least has been going into the other things that we need for our family, like toilet paper, shampoo, toothpaste, feminine hygiene, all of these other things that come up, and it's going to cut into our grocery budget. So we have decided to take that $100 and I don't know if you want to think about it that we now have $700 a month budget, or that we're just having $600 for grocery and then additional $100 for other things. Even though we shop at the same place, it would go into the same envelope if I was grocery shopping. I don't know how you want to look at it, but it's going to help just a little bit. Even though right now we're being able to make it work, I am noticing that we're getting some low on stuff, and I don't know if we're going to make it to the end of the month with the budget that I have left. Like we're out of lettuce. Kids will go in and peel off some leaves of lettuce and eat it as a snack. The carrots are getting eaten as snacks. And just stuff that I'm going to need for ingredients is kind of disappearing. So we're trying to figure out how to make this work, just from the standpoint of what can we afford and what do we want to put into it and whatnot. But hopefully what I have shared with you today with all of these meals gives you some ideas on a cost-effective way to make it work for your family and your budget. That being said, we do rely on the food pantry in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's the food pantry stuff that I get recently or stuff that I have gotten in the past and canned it or preserved it in some way to help our family. So that is something to note. And maybe it's just a baseline or guideline for what you and your family can do. So thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you next week with another one.